All right. We got a lot to get to today, and a lot of it's just come down in the last 5 or 6 minutes or so. And we got to start with Cam, guy who is your resident what Duke basketball, Kentucky basketball, excuse me, Kentucky basketball, Los Angeles Lakers basketball, Atlanta Falcons, and what I thought was Georgia football fan.
What we thought.
As we sit here today, opening up this Super Bowl Monday, Cam Ursery wearing the loudest Tennessee shirt I have ever seen in my life. And so what I'm curious about is, Cam, have you officially entered the fan transfer portal? Listen, now, before you answer, because I know you don't want to make the fans upset out there, and we're in a predominantly Georgia fan area, just because you enter the portal doesn't mean you're leaving.
Yeah.
So you can enter it as a Georgia fan. And listen, Georgia's had a lot of players off this championship team enter the transfer portal and move on to different opportunities. Sometimes you have to do what's best for you. So my question is this, Cam, as you're wearing this Tennessee hoodie, have you entered the transfer portal? And if you have, do you have a top 5? Have you created a graphic? Have you been on any visits yet? I
am not Jermaine Burton. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving after we win a national championship. No.
Never say never. So what I want to do is, if you're listening out there and you're a fan of a school besides Georgia, or if you're a Georgia fan and you want to keep Cam around, 912-342-7184. I need to hear pitches. I need to hear NIL offers for Cam's fandom.
Now, if you have offers.
Okay, there it is.
Money can swing a dude.
Your loyalty can be bought.
Absolutely. Money can swing a dude.
PJ, how much money would it take for you to not root for Penn State anymore?
Why? No, that's not going to happen. Exist? Yeah, I don't. Just to not root for them.
If I just say, give you $1 million, you can't root for them for the next 5 years.
No. It's for life.
Oh, for life. Hey, I'm still taking the money.
It's like born and raised there.
$1 million, you're not rooting for Georgia anymore.
I don't know if $1 million could do it. Because I do love Georgia.
He just threw out $1 million, though.
Yeah, I did throw it out.
But now he's like, well, I don't know about me.
I don't know if $1 million, because I am a huge Georgia fan. But I mean, it's a money can sway it, brother. If you
born and raised
at the right
in Happy
price
Valley. Not $1 million going to take me away from that. Money, by the way, is always
what if somebody offers
less than
what
it
if somebody
sounds?
offers you $5 million and on the same day the news comes out that James Franklin has signed a lifetime contract?
Go Pitt. What?
Oh man, $5 million.
What do you mean? I've always been a Pitt fan. Go Panthers.
I did.
That's what they are, right?
I wore a Pitt hoodie. What was it? Friday, Thursday. I mean, I'm just wearing stuff, man. I mean, I think it's cool. The swag is a little dope, so I'm just wearing stuff. That's it.
I'll say it was bad enough with the 10-year contract or earlier this. I had to rethink some things this offseason already. So put $5 million on that. Probably.
Oh, you had to rethink things. See? Now you worried about me. PJ could definitely be.
That's an exaggeration. All I'm saying is no way that man should have got 10 years.
All I know is some people are born loyal and some people can be bought. And as we're sitting here right now, it is coming to my attention that both of my co-hosts can be bought. The other thing we have to talk about.
It's all just a funny conversation, man. It's not.
Is it funny? Is it funny because you're in here wearing an Alabama shirt?
That's not at all. If anything, this is a Florida State shirt.
Tell me that look. No,
like
that's
Oklahoma.
That's Alabama.
It's like cream and crimson.
Nah, that's Alabama. Yeah. I thought it had a big A on the t-shirt. I'm like, hold on. I know y'all not gonna let
Tell me that doesn't look like an Alabama uniform from like 1899.
Oh yeah, when they had like the little leather helmets and stuff.
No, so this is the thing, and then it would have actually like had a design on it.
Everyone was like
Alabama has never had this much design on their jersey. Not even look back then. There's no way.
Back when they wore leather helmets and everyone looked like PJ.
You remember in like
God,
like
all the DBs,
the
running backs.
Yeah, that's insanely true. Sadly, luckily we're not in that time anymore. You remember back in like 2008, 2009 when Alabama wore Nike had like the Nike Pro Combat whatever uniforms, and they had Alabama came out with one. And all it changed was like they had like the Bear Bryant design like in the stripes or something like that.
Okay, so I remember this.
And they had like an American flag, and Nick Saban went insane.
Yeah, it was like down the pants. It was like the stripe kind of faded into the uniform, but then on the helmet it had the houndstooth.
LSU had
a little bit of houndstooth on it, and then they had the American flag. That was
right.
That year LSU had like the purple jerseys with like the stripe going down the helmet in the middle. Or was
they
that
still
later
have
down
those.
the line?
Oh, they still have those, and they have like the gold helmets.
They got this. They got
They
sick
did. They
jerseys.
had that
The
year. They
jerseys
had like
sick.
the all purples with like the not the yellow gold, like the gold
Gold.
helmet.
Okay, I'm
Those
thinking
were
about that.
clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, like talking about Alabama's uniforms just brought up that memory, and Nick Saban being like that. Yeah, well, I don't know who
Yeah,
cleared this, but
they haven't worn
this is never going to
anything-
happen again.
haven't worn anything different since. Other thing we got to talk about. I don't know if you guys are listening to 3 and Out on Friday, but they had a caller in the final hour, and this is the kind of creativity and musical inspiration that I ask all of our listeners to aspire to. I want to bring this up because there's a few different things in here. Number one, the lyrics are extremely creative, and I appreciate this caller calling in to deliver these to us on the air. But the second thing is Kevin doesn't know how to handle things that like come out of left field, right? Where he gets so locked in on show host, which is we got more to come coming up in the next hour. We'll talk to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And so if you break that up, he doesn't know how to like re-engage. Is just having a conversation. He's locked in as show host.
Yeah.
Right. He drops all like the radio vernacular, like we're up against it and stuff like that, instead of just having a conversation with someone. So I want you to listen to a couple things. Number one, the song, but number two, listen to the beginning and the end of this. Just how nerdy Kevin is, I think, is the best way to put this out there. So this is from 3 and Out on Friday, and I thought it was just absolutely wonderful.
Charlie Russo in Savannah, Georgia.
Hey, man, how are you doing?
Good. I read this at the quarterback club. We had some guest speakers the other night. Frank Beamer was our guest speaker. And anyway, since Georgia won a national championship, give me just a minute, and I'm going to read a great little ditty to you, okay?
Okay, you make it quick. We do have to step aside for a break here in just a minute. Go ahead, though, quickly.
Okay. Quick, okay. This is, well, you can picture when the devil went down to Georgia, but this was Alabama, okay?
Okay.
Alabama went down to Georgia. They were looking for a title to steal. They went a bind, Saban losing his mind. Bulldogs hungry for their next meal. Nick came across this young man throwing the football and looking real hot. Old Saban jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I got football players too. And if you care to make it there, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play some good football, boy, but give old Nick his due. I got championships coming out my ears, and I think we're better than you. Boy said, my name is Stetson, and it may be a sin, but I'll take your bet, and you're going to regret. Georgia's the best they've ever been. Stetson, you power up them dogs and throw the football hard. All hell broke loose in Georgia, and our defense deals the cards. And when you win, you get this shiny trophy made of gold. But if you lose, old Saban takes your soul. Well, Nicky opens up the game and said, Bama's time to show. His offense took the field, but Georgia's defense wouldn't let go. He called the plays one after another and thought the Bulldogs' D would fail. But the Dogs' defense just backed them up and put them on their tail. When old Saban finished that and said, y'all pretty good, old son, but sit right there on your bench and watch how the Dogs get it done. Fire in the backfield, run, boys, run, passing through the air to get things done. Intercepting Mr. Heisman's pass to start the fun. Oh, Nick, he bowed his head because he knew he'd been beat, and he laid that golden trophy on the ground at Stetson's feet. Now, Bennett said, Nick, if you ever want to come back and try again, I done told you once, you son of a gun, the Dogs are the best they've ever been.
Beautiful. Hey, you are. That is Charlie Daniels would have been proud of that. Hey, we appreciate you laying that on us. That was awesome.
All right, so a few things there. Number one, Charlie Russo, you're a hero. That was unbelievable. Number two, Cam, you've never heard the devil went down to Georgia.
Absolutely not.
Where were you born?
Where was I born?
Where were you born?
Decatur,
Decatur what?
Georgia.
You are how old?
15.
You are how old right now?
No, 23.
He said,
In your 23, have you ever lived outside of the state of Georgia in your 23 years?
Outside the state? No. Close to, but no.
And with that, you've never heard the devil went down to Georgia in your 23 years of life?
No. Absolutely not.
PJ, you're from Pennsylvania.
I was singing in Pennsylvania. Yeah, you're right. I was, believe me, when my dad was like, yeah, I got a job. It's down here. We're going to move to Georgia. I was like, what? Where the devil is? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like literally.
No, that's where the devil got beat, PJ. Come on now.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
We got that shiny fiddle made of gold.
That's very true. That's very true. That's a good point. What's hilarious, like, I know you have more points.
Well, yeah, Kevin's
So,
my final point.
Yeah, I kind of want to, but at the same time, I will say, like, I was here when that happened. I was still here, and I was in the production studio, and I think we all know, all of us who have heard the non-radio version of that song
Yeah.
know kind of what's said
So
there
you were
at the end.
You were
So I'm
bracing at the
sitting there.
end.
I'm sitting there like, and I think Kevin was doing the same thing. He was enjoying it, but
Let me explain to Cam real quick. At the end, he says, "Devil, you come on back if you ever want to try again. I told you once, you son of a. I'm the best there's ever
Yeah.
been." And so
Yeah.
PJ's sitting there in the end,
It's
like,
just
and he's
like,
like, "Oh, this guy's
like,
about to
dude,
drop
get
it
ready,
on us."
get ready for that break button, the mute. I don't, because there's no way to stop it
I mean,
really.
he was
So
fired
it's
up.
like,
It was kind of like an avalanche.
Yeah,
He like
yeah.
tried to get faster and faster and faster
So-
at the end.
exactly. And I
Can't-
wouldn't have been like, I mean, you get into the rhythm and
Yeah.
you've heard the song a million times. So like, I wouldn't have been surprised at the end of the day, but kudos to him as well for keeping
Cam
it
at one
radio
point-
friendly.
Cam at one point during that looked at me and goes, "Is this Cat in the Hat?"
Yeah, I'm like, he's over here like talking as if he's Cat in the
You
Hat
got
or
some
something. I'm
Dr.
like,
Seuss poetry coming out at you over here.
yes. I'm like, what is he talking about? I genuinely have never heard it.
Honestly, though, if you
Never.
like take Green Eggs and Ham or whatever,
Yeah.
like if you put that in a book, I wouldn't be surprised if it was
Okay,
Dr. Seuss
so-
either.
So Kevin, and y'all know I love Kevin. I think there's nothing pure on this earth. Maybe like the bond between a newborn child and their mother is the only thing that I can think is more pure than the sound of like Kevin's laughter. Because
Yeah, especially when he's not expecting the laugh.
right,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
when
yeah.
Kevin laughs, angels appear, and it's a truly magical sound. But Kevin also maybe the most, I guess dad is the best way to describe him of all time, just because it's kind of goofy. So I remember
Yeah.
we played
Yeah.
I think Ludacris and maybe T.I., but I know Ludacris for sure had written a theme song for the Falcons following their Super Bowl year, right? And so it's like we played this before the season, we played on a show, and it ends. And again, this is Ludacris rapping about the Atlanta Falcons prior to the season. And God, I hope I can find this audio. We play this song, and it gets to the end of it, and go back to Kevin. He goes, "Well, there you go."
Hey, I really thought it was Cat in the Hat. Like, I'm over here like, is he reciting like Cat in the Hat trying to
No,
rhyme?
Cam,
But
he
I
is-
didn't know.
He is
Like,
dropping a Dogs National Championship parody of "Devil Went Down to Georgia" on you,
hey, man,
comparing Nick Saban
Georgia
or
wins and
placing
all,
Nick
you know
Saban in the
what?
role of the devil.
He was born on October 31st.
Damn, Cam's dropping facts on us, or PJ's dropping facts on
I'm,
us. right now.
I'm just
who,
like,
Saban was?
just,
Oh, he
I
was born on
mean,
Halloween.
it is what it is,
They don't
right?
do Saban like
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm just
man.
kidding.
You know,
Like,
he's been haunting us.
just kidding.
Don't do him
But that
like
is
that.
I know we broke the
it's a
curse,
fun
though.
fact. It's pretty fun.
But that being said, we do have some real sports to talk about here on the show today. When we come back, we're going to catch up with Clay Helton, head football coach at Georgia Southern. He's going to join the show, break down that 2022 recruiting class, also preview the spring game coming up on April 23rd. And maybe we'll get a Super Bowl prediction from old Coach Helton as well. I promise we won't have him try to do any Charlie Daniels. That I can guarantee. So catch up with Clay Helton when we come back. Also going to talk some Super Bowl a little bit later in the show as well. This is ESPN Radio. We'll be right back after this. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Big changes at Georgia Southern this past offseason as Clay Helton takes over as the head football coach for the Eagles. And then obviously a huge signing day for him that's just passed as they signed a majority of their guys back in December, but able to bring in some transfers since then and really kind of start to reshape this Georgia Southern team as they move away from the flex bone triple option and more towards the future, I guess we'll call it, under the Clay Helton administration, where they're going to be slinging that ball all over the field. I don't know if you watched the Senior Bowl at all this past weekend, but Bailey Zappi, former Western Kentucky quarterback, set all kinds of records in the FBS, most passing yards ever in the FBS. Brian Ellis, his former quarterback coach / co-offensive coordinator, is now the offensive coordinator for Georgia Southern. And so we're going to see a lot of changes. So earlier today, we had a chance to sit down with the head football coach of the Georgia Southern Eagles, Clay Helton, to break down what this class looks like and preview the spring game coming up on April 23rd. Welcome back into ESPN Radio. Christian Gokel, glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Monday afternoon. Got a whole lot more to get to today, but really excited to talk to our next guest, the head football coach for your Georgia Southern Eagles, Clay Helton. Coach, first time coming on the show with me here, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully the first of many.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Hey, Coach, you guys wrapping up a busy signing period, and obviously signing day, just the beginning of a long signing period all the way up until fall camp starts there. But just your over-the-top impressions of this signing class. I know coming in, you kind of had an advantage over some of the other first-year coaches because of how early you were able to come in here. But just give us that overarching view of this class.
Yeah, just like you said, I thought that Jared Benko's proactiveness in his decision in hiring and giving us the opportunity to come in November, really having the opportunity to see our current team, see what the needs are, and be able to jumpstart some recruiting, to be able to have those 30 to 45 days were extremely helpful. And you look up in December signing class, and we signed 20 kids. Now we're able to add six more to this class in February. Still have some opportunities that are still left out there, with the new NCAA rule of the +7 due to transfers and attrition. So really am pleased with this class. Very balanced class, 13 offensive and 13 defensive players. We stay true to the development of our young people, basically really focusing on high school players, especially in the state of Georgia. I think 19 of our 22 freshmen are from the state of Georgia. Brought in some valuable transfer needs that we really feel 4 transfers that will come in and be able to help us immediately. So a class that we're really proud of. It was a short period of time. It wasn't your true yearly recruiting cycle, but to be able to come in here and address some immediate needs for next year's class was very important.
Yeah, I remember after your opening press conference where you're introduced, immediately out on the practice field, watching those guys practice, kind of evaluating. When you guys looked at the roster you had, what were some of the positions of need that you feel like you needed to address in this class?
Yeah, well, obviously, when you're changing systems, we looked at 2 positions offensively. We decided to broaden the quarterback room. Obviously, we have 2 good quarterbacks in that room with Cam and Connor, but wanted to bring in 2 rookies as well as an older player. So, we were able to go out and get Kyle from Buffalo and really bring him in, a guy that has been a 3-year starter and has tremendous amount of talent. And then you go out and get Zach Rosman and David Dallas, two Georgia quarterback prospects that we feel like have immense talent, and you've really strengthened that room. We also felt like we wanted to broaden the wide receiver room. Obviously, going to be a more balanced offense. It's one of the reasons that you look up and we signed 5 receivers in this class, 4 rookies and 1 older player in Jeremy Singleton. But excited about the addition of the skill to the offensive side.
And, Coach, you look at what Brian Ellis has been able to do, your offensive coordinator, what he was able to do at Western Kentucky. I mean, Bailey Zappi, his former quarterback, lighting it up down there at the Senior Bowl, setting all kinds of records this past year. It's kind of a flip in mindset, I'm sure, for a lot of Georgia Southern fans. But you mentioned those quarterbacks there. How competitive do you think that room's going to be this spring?
Oh, ultra competitive and really appreciative of the kids that are here. One of the things that I've seen immediately, and it's a sign of good players, is they don't fear competition. They don't care who's in the room. They just want to have the opportunity to compete. And and not only with Cam and Connor, but the three new additions that we put in the room, they all just want the opportunity to compete and are excited about the system that Coach Ellis brings to the table. Why wouldn't you be?
Right.
Number one passing offense in the country, that threw for more yards and more touchdowns in the history of the game. So I know they're excited about it, but we're excited about also, just as a coaching staff, is the ability to be a more balanced offense. And, when you bring a J.D. King back and you bring a Gerald Green and a Jalen White, and then additions of Amari Arnold and Terrence Gibbs to that running back room also, you're talking about a tremendous 1-2 punch to be able to not only have a great passing game, but have a highly effective running game. That's been the staple of what Georgia Southern football has been about.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Terrence Gibbs there. I don't know how much stock you put into stars there, but per the metrics of 247 and Rivals, one of the highest rated, if not the highest rated recruit Georgia Southern has ever pulled in. And this is the school of Adrian Peterson and Jerick McKinnon and those guys and Matt Breida. What kind of back did you get in Gibbs?
Well, obviously when we signed Amari Arnold, we had the lightning portion of the running group. And here came Terrence Gibbs as the Thunder, a big back that's already over 200 pounds, probably going to be a 215, 220-pound man before it's all said and done. And you look how talented the young man is. One of probably the top three backs going into his junior year, suffers an injury, back healthy now. And really, I think that foundation of the tradition of excellence that is the running back position at Georgia Southern really caught the eye of Amari and Terrence. And having both those kids here provides us a great 1-2 punch, not only immediately, but for the future also.
Coach, defensively, obviously the Sun Belt is smash mouth kind of league. You have Louisiana and the style of offense they like to run, App State, Coastal Carolina with their option. It's a lot of big boy football up front. Defensively, how'd you guys feel like you addressed some of the needs on that side of the ball?
Yeah, you talk about big boys, and we went out and got three interior players that I'm really excited about. Losing C.J. Wright to the NFL, which, we want each and every year to our players to have that opportunity to move on to the NFL. We really felt we wanted to help our interior, so we were able to go get a great transfer product in Christian Varner, but also two interior prospects in Kai Teo, as well as Latrell Bullard. There's three 300-pounders right there that are going to help the interior. You add El Hadj Fall, and you're talking about some really unique talent on that defensive front. So it was something that we wanted to address, and I thought that Will Harris and Rip Rowan did an amazing job along with our recruiting team to go out and get those kids.
And Coach, the spring game coming up on April 23rd. I know I've heard a lot of call to actions from other coaches when this comes around, because not just an event to see the upcoming team, but really a huge recruiting weekend for you guys. How important is it for you to, as we say, pack Paulson coming up on April 23rd?
Well, I think we have one of the more unique college football environments there are in the country. Even, when I was here for the BYU game that Saturday, beautiful fall Saturday, you see how special Statesboro, Georgia is on a game day. And, to be able to have, our spring practices on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, starting March 22nd, going all the way through April 23rd, we're using those Saturdays for having the opportunities for young men to be able to come on campus and see how special this place had. And that spring game is a culmination of 5 weeks of work, again, with our fans there, where recruits can come out and be able to see, wow, this is a special place, a special community where football just means more to them.
And Coach Clay Helton, kind enough to take some time with us here on this Monday afternoon. Coach, before we let you get out of here, you're a football guy. I know it. NFL, we have the Super Bowl coming up, but I think before that, have you ever seen a divisional round better than what we saw with like the Rams and the Buccaneers? And just it was 2 straight days of just football bliss.
I'm going to tell you, I was like a 6th grader all over. Some of the best playoff games that I can possibly remember coming down. So exciting. And I'm a quarterback coach by trade. Some of the best quarterback play maybe in the history of our game over a 2-week period of time that these guys have done. Can't wait to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday.
And Coach, before I let you get out of here, Joe Burrow, I've been putting this out there. It's just there's some things intrinsically in people, and he just seems like he's a winner. Has never lost a playoff game going back to college, and I don't know how to put my finger on it. Obviously, he has an arm. He's very talented with his feet. He's very accurate. But what is it about Joe Burrow where he comes on your team and all of a sudden you're winning?
Well, I've always thought great quarterbacks give hope. And every time that Joe steps on the field, he gives whatever team he's on great hope. And you've seen it not only in college now, but also in the NFL. To walk into opposing stadiums like he has over the past 2 weeks and do what he has done, and more importantly, lift his team up to an elite high standard. Watch out for him in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great one.
You got a prediction for us?
I tell you what, at being in LA and the aura around Matthew Stafford, I know that's it's an important game for a lot of those guys on that team, having been in LA the last 12 years. I think the Rams by that much, it's going to be a heck of a football game.
Clay Helton, kind enough to join us here. Georgia Southern has their spring game set for April 23rd. Make sure you get out there and pack Paulson because it's going to be a show with that new offense and the new quarterbacks and running backs they got out there in Statesboro. Coach, I appreciate the time, man. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Christian. Hail Southern.
Again, that was Clay Helton there joining us on Second Down, breaking down that 2022 class. We got more to come here on Second Down. We will be right back after this. You want to talk about it, Cam?
Nah,
That's some Tennessee level execution.
it is. It is.
We're
It
looking
is.
for Georgia level execution. Maybe this is why you're in the transfer portal.
Nah, I'm not in the transfer portal, man. Just showing, a little support. Maybe I can find some HBCU stuff, man. Like a couple of Savannah State gear or something like that. to
Well,
put
you're an
on.
alum.
I am an
So they
alum.
ought
But I
to.
have no gear at all.
So you're saying I got more Savannah State gear than you right now.
Like
If
for
I have
real.
one piece, then I got more.
No,
Okay.
I have a T-shirt and an old hoodie from
Mhm.
Homecoming. That's a Homecoming exclusive from 16. My bad. But I need more, more apparel. Maybe I might go into their apparel store and grab a few things.
So you have some then.
2 things.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Two's
Better than nothing.
none.
Better than nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better than nothing. But like, come on, you graduated there, dude.
Oh, I know what you mean. I don't think I have any gear from where I graduated from. So we're all good there.
Anyways, now that we're back on track,
Are we?
kinda. I'm about to take it back off track again, though.
Okay. All right. That's where we thrive. I
We
think.
got, we got a couple more days to sign up. We had a bunch of people register this past Friday, and then over the weekend. This past Friday, we talked about something, Cam, that I think is very important. Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yep, come up on Monday of next week. So, guys, you got a week to get your significant other the gift they deserve. And flip that around, ladies, you have another week to get your significant other what they want, but also maybe to communicate with them and tell them what you might want. But we're going to take care of it for both sides of this because we have a giveaway that we're doing. All you have to do is call in and register. You don't have to answer any questions. You don't have to give us an email. All you got to do, call in and say, hey, I want to register for this. And if you win, you get a spa day at Milan Day Spa in downtown Savannah and also a 2-night stay on the Westin Jekyll Island. I mean, Cam,
Am I able to sign
yeah, I was
up?
about to say, you got a significant other. If you drop that,
Am I able to sign up?
unfortunately not. Unless you don't want to work anymore, which is
Oh,
completely up to you.
wait, is she able to call?
I think that's a little bit
Oh
sketchy.
wow. Yeah, that's a weird
But if she calls
loophole.
in under an assumed name, how would I know?
That's the thing. That's the funny thing is like that's a loophole we don't have to deal with.
But again, 912-342-7184. Be the hero this Valentine's Day. All you have to do is call in and give us your name and your phone number, and you have a chance to win. We're going to be selecting some finalists coming up either tomorrow or Wednesday, just seeing how the flood of calls goes. If there's a bunch of people calling in, we'll probably extend it another day. What we're going to do is on Friday, we're going to pick a winner. So you got a couple more days to register. 912-342-7184. Call in, just give us your name and your phone number, and you will be entered for a chance to win again a spa day at Milan Day Spa in downtown Savannah and a 2-night stay at the Westin on Jekyll Island. I mean, again, Cam, you get the flowers, you get the candy, but then you drop that on top.
I mean, hey,
You're goated, right?
yeah, you go. You're good to go. It's not. I don't want to hear no complaints for whoever went. No complaints.
And
for
I
the
did
next
this last
year or
week.
two,
I'm going to
no
do it again.
complaints.
If you're listening right now and you're riding next to your significant other and you're like, I'll do it later. You know you won't.
Nah.
You know you won't. You're going to forget. You're going to get home. You're going to get on TikTok or you're going to hop on Warzone or you're going to do something else.
Yeah.
And you're going to forget.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're in the car, and again, hands free, we don't want anybody texting and driving or calling and driving, but don't procrastinate. We're here. We have pens and paper. We can take your phone number down right now.
Ready
We
to
have
go.
a full office right now, which is stunning.
That is it's we're like I said, we're thriving, man.
Everyone's
It's,
here today,
doing
so,
all right. We're doing
again,
good.
912-342-7184. Call in to register. We'll be picking some finalists out in the coming days and then giving it away on Friday. But guys, we got a Super Bowl coming up this weekend. Joe
Right.
Burrow versus Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
You have that Rams defensive line against
Yeah.
a suspect
Against Joe Burrow.
Bengals offensive
That's
line
pretty
against
much
Joe Burrow's agility.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put that. God, what kind of sleep do you think quarterbacks get the night before they have to play Aaron Donald?
None. Especially, I'm sorry, but he's like unflappable when he gets in the game. But can you imagine having to prepare for this, like as Joe Burrow, knowing, how like quarterbacks, running backs, whatever, they'll go out after a big performance and sometimes buy like their offensive
Mhm.
lineman dinner or something like that. He better be buying them dinner like
Yeah.
like every night this week. Like, please, God, if you can find anything down in there to try and block Aaron Donald for me or be a little bit better, please do it.
Okay, so
But no, I don't think he's getting any sleep.
we were doing a football game this past fall, high school level, but there was a big time lineman had offers from everywhere: Alabama, LSU, Florida State, stuff like that, right? The stuff that your typical high school offensive lineman trying to block just ain't going to be able to handle. So we asked the coaches, we were like, what's the best way to deal with someone like that? And their answer was, you don't, right? You can't overly focus resources to it. And it kind of reminded me of the Falcons played the Rams in the playoffs not too long ago, 2018. And when they did, Aaron Donald was at his peak power, right?
That was
They
peak.
didn't try to block him. What they did was move the pocket. So Aaron Donald, they would kind of have an escort. I don't even want to call it a blocker. They just kind of had an escort, and the escort would be like, right this way, Mr. Donald. And he'd walk him right back to where Matt Ryan was.
Right.
But Matt Ryan at that point had kind of just navigated 2 or 3 steps to the right or 2 or 3 steps to the left. I think that's the only chance the Bengals have, because if they just try to play straight up double team with Aaron Donald, the Rams have good enough guys outside of Aaron Donald, like Leonard Floyd, to get after Joe Burrow.
The one thing I respected about Joe Burrow, him and Chase and Higgins and Boyd, them boys said, they have to play us. We ain't got to play them. So when asked, are you going to target, Jamar Chase on Jalen Ramsey? He's like, well, Jalen Ramsey got to guard Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And Jalen Ramsey's gotten got a few times in this
Oh, yeah,
postseason,
he has.
which is going to happen.
It was going to happen.
If
Yeah.
you're the number 1 DB for your team, which means you're playing the number 1 receiver, it's
Yeah.
going to happen. But Mike Evans, one-on-one with Jalen Ramsey in that playoff game, cooked him down the sideline. So it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and
I
I think
love it.
Jamar Chase is top 5, top 6 wide receiver in the NFL right now. Yeah.
He might be like pushing top 3. But
certainly
I
going
don't think
into
Joe
next
Burrow's
year.
losing in his sleep, though. I really don't. I don't think now, I think the offensive coordinator, because Joe Burrow is that confident
Yeah.
to where I'm like, I think he's fine. But his offensive coordinator and his head coach, they can't sleep at all, because they're like, how are we going to protect Joe? Like, Joe's going to do Joe things, run out the pocket, do crazy things, kind of on his Tony Romo stuff, because that's who he reminds me of a little bit, a better Tony Romo. The way he just moves and kind of improvises.
Is it because he wears number 9?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Might be
that
part of
too,
it.
because he wears number 9. But I mean, he moves around kind of like him too. But obviously, he's better. He has some playoff wins in
There you go.
they can
That's
have.
a
Just
good
saying,
point.
He has a playoff win.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Joe Burrow, he's confident enough to where I don't think he's
Tony
losing
Romo
his
never
sleep.
went to the Super Bowl.
He never went to the
No,
NFC
yeah.
Championship. He
Yeah.
has
I don't-
one playoff win.
Yeah.
Oh, he got one.
Seattle. And I want to say they were
forgot.
injured.
And I'm being honest, I forgot that he got one.
He has
Yeah.
one.
Because I knew that was a story
Yeah.
for a long time. But I don't know. I think once he, like I said, once he gets into the game, he's pretty unflappable to begin with. But maybe losing a little. I don't know if anyone before the Super Bowl is sleeping soundly. You know what I mean? Like, because even as the ultimate competitors, like, you're ready to get out there and go, which is exciting. But you're also like you're getting ready for it. So I don't know if anyone's just putting their head on the pillow and falling right asleep. But to your point, though, with the offensive lineman and just kind of the way they have to protect Burrow, it's even better that he has that kind of mobility and is that comfortable outside of the pocket as well. We've seen countless times, how many times, him able to run around for 10 seconds and find someone downfield, which is a credit to the wide receivers as well. I think he has 3 guys that are able to find space, 6-7 seconds into a play. So I think that's a really good point. And not like a normal offensive line, like a normal, like above average
What is
offensive
that?
line can't deal.
I'm a Falcons fan. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
What?
a
Yeah.
normal offensive line. Like, I don't know.
Never
Well, that's
seen
why
that.
I changed it.
Maybe around you.
I tried to change the word before I got that question, but no, I'm saying like even them, like an above average offensive line is obviously having a lot of trouble
Who do you
blocking Aaron
think? Who do you
Donald.
think's
So,
more horrifying to play quarterback against? Even if your offensive line's good, but we'll say with a suspect offensive line, who do you think's more horrifying to play against, Aaron Donald or Ndamukong Suh?
Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
See,
Donald.
I feel like Aaron Donald is just like, he's physically just a freak, right? And he's so strong and so fast, and just gets into the backfield. I feel like Ndamukong Suh wants to murder you.
No, he does.
Like he MF'd Stafford.
Remember,
in
he
that
doesn't like
divisional
Aaron,
round game.
he doesn't like Aaron Rodgers.
He doesn't like anybody.
Well, he don't like anybody.
Doesn't like anybody. But you see him off the field, looks like a super nice guy. Got the kids, hanging out,
That's
smiling.
how it should be.
But
though.
gets on the field, and that dude is trying to do bodily harm to you.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems like he's from a different era of football, right? Like, you don't really see the like guy out there with like bloodlust in his eyes anymore, where there's like, because there's kind of a commonality where it's like we're all playing this violent game where we're all going to walk off with broken bodies at the end of our careers, and so we have some sort of camaraderie no matter who the opponent is. We want to come out there. We're gonna give it our best physical effort, but we're also going to help each other up. No cheap shots. And Ndamukong Suh is out there for one reason. It is to put your quarterback out for the season.
Hurt him.
And I'm not saying his goal is to cause season-long injuries, but you can't tell me Ndamukong Suh's goal isn't to hurt your quarterback so bad that he's not effective against them anymore.
That's how it's supposed to be, though. You're supposed to get after the QB like that.
I mean, I think he's proved that during play and after play. So I mean, that's kind of where like
my thought has always been with the football team, and you can criticize me and tell me I'm wrong. I think you need some guys like that.
Yeah,
like, like Georgia on their defensive line. You know who's like that? Jalen Carter. And I'd say Travon Walker had a little bit of that too with their defensive line this year. Jordan Davis is a physical freak, but I'm talking about that kind of like, it's not going to be fun to play against me. Like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to let you know that I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to smile about it when you're kind of limping back to the line just because of how much stronger and badder than you I am.
Hesitant when
I think Jalen Carter's going to get that look too, and I think Travon Walker kind of like when Travon Walker like massacred that pulling guard for Michigan. Yeah, that was just like him physically telling you, like, dude, you're in there for this.
I think there's a difference, though. I think that, and for sure, I completely agree with.
I know you're talking about the dirty side of it, but
it's like,
well, it's fine. I agree with your overall
statement. Troy Polamalu and Cam Chancellor. Like, I know Troy Polamalu is better, but you wouldn't want to go ahead.
No, but I think what PJ's talking about is like stepping on a dude's chest, like after a play.
Yeah, I think that's a very different story. Like, there's a mental and a physical part to it. I think like that. You can talk about like, okay. Well, whatever.
I'm not gonna say I'm a dirty person, but I like dirty football to extent. A dirty football play to extent, like where the person's not getting too hurt, but it's like you're out there, like you're hitting, like you're just sending a message.
I think it can be hard to sending it. That's the thing. Is like you say these things like sending a message on the football field can be a lot different than like stepping on a dude's calves with cleats on. Like that's a problem.
In
like
that Pro Bowl where he hit the kick of the punt of that hard.
That's what's up.
I love that.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Hey,
that's
if you're gonna play in the game,
good for you.
Don't play through the motion.
Like I love Sean Taylor. That guy was a monster, but it's also a punter.
But look,
like
I'm not playing.
You're saying punters aren't people?
No, I mean no, but they're. And different punters are also very different athletically.
No,
that punter was not built for that. All right.
I'm not going to allow any seconds of the show.
Sean Taylor demolishing a punter. I'm sorry. Like, I hold him in very high regard. Obviously, that's not going to impress me, man.
See why.
Like, and even then, I still think that's different than seeing a dude on a pile and seeing a leg exposed or something exposed or whatever and stepping on it. Like that's different. Like, that physical mental.
Cody's agreeing with you. Says no. I got a son. I'm trying to teach. Play clean. Dirty play is lame. Listen.
All I'm saying is you can get there. You can get there mentally and physically without the BS stuff after the play.
I think there's a difference between Pee Wee football in Florida and the National Football League, where dudes are playing for salaries and their homes and stuff. Like those dudes are going to war every single Sunday.
Question for you: were you mad? I know it became I want to say a legal thing. Were you mad about Bountygate with the Saints then?
I think putting money on hurting people is bad.
Kind of weird.
Like I said, I don't think the goal. I don't think the goal is to cause like if somebody grabs a leg and like kind of crocodile rolls it to try to like tear a ligament.
Yeah,
that's beyond the pale, right? But if Ndamukong Suh takes a 200-pound quarterback, drives him into the ground, and then kind of gives him that extra shove and that full body weight on the ground, and maybe like drags his thigh across his face as he's getting back up. That's football.
Or just a little tap on the helmet with the shoe.
I mean, that's fine too.
Like now, like if a quarterback's like hands like kind of laying out on the side, and you like purposely step on a hand. Yeah, you should be thrown out of the game. Or probably
that's mainly what I'm talking about. Like that, and that's the things that he's done.
Like in the NFL now, you cannot do like my favorite thing in football is when you lay somebody out, obviously clean. We're not here for targeting, but when you physically dominate somebody else and then they do the crawl over the top of them, where football. There's kind of some body parts and some legs in your face that you don't necessarily want in your face.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Right.
Like I'm for that. And Cody, if you want your kid to throw the ball to the ref and just like walk directly to the sideline and then just stand there and stare out there, you could be that dad, man. I kind of want my kid to do a little bit of dab in the end zone, maybe a Gronk spike. It is what it is. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back with more right here on Second Down. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. We have a couple of our good friends text us during the break. First one, your brother,
Hey.
saying if anybody ever did that at PJ, they might be meeting Mario in the parking lot. So
Makes
we
sense.
understand that you support each other as brothers. But I also, Mario, you would get absolutely drugged by Ndamukong Suh. Number 2, Cody writing back in, defending his claim that he doesn't want his kid to do that. Again, it is what it is. I still think the refs, I know what game you're talking about, Cody. Still think those refs were a little overzealous. Let the kids spike the ball. Big show coming up on 3 and Out next. I'll catch up with Demetrius Harvey to break down the Jags hirings that they have going on and to look ahead at the upcoming draft. All that coming up next right here on ESPN Radio.